Tomorrow by Together just released their highly anticipated comeback, Runaway. The song has a lot to unpack, so let's just start with the Korean title of the song, 9와 4분의 3 승강장에서 너를 기다려, or I will be waiting for you at platform 9 and 3/4. Of course, platform 9 and 3/4 is a direct reference to the train platform of Harry Potter, which is used to access the wizard world from what people perceive as reality. The song's English title is also Runaway. These both hint that the song will be about escaping reality into some sort of fantasy land. Here the narrator is in pain from the harsh reality he faces. He feels everyone is happy except for him, and it's more painful pretending to be happy and putting on a smile than it is for him to just cry it out. He says he needs a helping hand to get out of his reality. Maybe he needs a Hagrid. Here this mysterious second narrator comes and offers a helping hand to the first narrator who wanted to escape. The second narrator, whom I'll refer to from now on as they, say they can take the first narrator to platform 9 and 3/4. This is again a gateway to the wizard world of Harry Potter, a gateway away from the reality into the magical unknown. The first narrator has taken the helping hand and is now escaping reality into a magic island. This is where dreams can become reality. Here the second narrator is inviting the first narrator to run away and be together with them forever. The second narrator again acts as a savior to the first narrator. They can make his tears into spells so that he does not have to cry anymore. They make a direct reference to Harry Potter's first encounter with the wizard world when he was stuck in a cupboard under the stairs of the Dudleys, and Hagrid came to find him and take him to Hogwarts. So who are these first and second narrators? Well, just speaking from the lyrics alone, the first narrator is you, the listener, and Tomorrow by Together is the second narrator who is taking you on an adventure away from reality. T by T is telling you that they'll be by your side and take you away from reality. But looking closer at the MV, I have a theory that the first narrator, the one who wishes to escape, is actually Taehyun, and the second narrator who helps Taehyun escape is the rest of the members of Tomorrow by Together, who are imaginary friends that Taehyun has created in his mind. So let's go over the video, shall we? From the starting scene, we can see each members of Tomorrow by Together in their environments, looking bored and uncontent. I think T by T members, they are all representations of slices of Taehyun's psyche. He has a side of him that's frustrated, bored, and uninterested, dreaming of something, and also is wanting to escape. Let's take Subin for example. He's drawing something wild from his imagination along with a door, which we could assume is a pathway to some sort of escape or something. If you look at Yeonjun's hand, it has a scar on the thumb. Now the thumb could be many different symbols, but usually it's a symbol of confidence or power. We show our thumbs up to show approval of something or confidence in something. It's also said that people who hide their thumbs when they punch lack self-confidence. I personally link Yeonjun as the self-doubt, the low self-esteem part of Taehyun's psyche, as he has this little scar on the thumb And I link that with a lack of self-confidence. In the music video, Taeyeon starts out alone, but then is joined by the other 4 members of Tomorrow by Together. This is likely when Taeyeon created these imaginary friends based on the elements of his psyche to cope with his loneliness, stress, or whatever negative circumstances he may be in. In the next scene, Yeonjun's book catches on fire. Beomgyu tries to extinguish it, but the fire is still there. If you look at the scene, everyone is shocked about this fire. They did not expect it to happen. In another scene, you can see Taeyeon reading a book about how to stop the fire in a orangish glow, which alludes to the fact that there's actually a huge ass fire in the library that Taeyeon is in right now. I think this fire is a symbol of teenage angst. Now, teens go through a lot of angst and inner conflict as they grow up, as I did, and sometimes this can feel like a fire that just spreads uncontrollably. Understandably, Taeyeon, who has a scar and whom I'm linking as a self-doubt character, is likely the most vulnerable part of Taeyeon's psyche and is the one who causes the fire. First on the book, then later on the giant door, which I'll explain later. On the other hand, other scenes in the music video are very dreamlike. You've got them shooting some sort of plasma thing out of a fire extinguisher, the boys setting the library on fire and running away, etc. It's all fun. These are all or partly happening in Taeyeon's mind, and I think this is an insight into what's going on inside his brain. Maybe this is what he thinks of as fun. Then there's this swimming pool set, which I think is actually a direct representation of Taeyeon's brain. If we think about how an eye and brain works, the images we see through the eye are received upside down when hitting the optic nerves, which carry it to the brain. Thus, the swimming pool room, which I think is Taeyeon's brain, has windows with upside down images because it's Taeyeon's brain. This is like that room from that Pixar movie Inside Out where Taeyeon's various elements of his psyche come together. And they're all like talking to each other and they're all hanging out, they're all bros. Assuming that this room is actually a brain, it gives us some clues that this dream sequence isn't just an imagination. As Tomorrow by Together jump in the pool, the brain room also gets a little puddle going on in the floor. So I'm thinking that this is like some sort of Fight Club-esque scenario where this stuff that Taeyeon is doing is 100% real, except he's just imagining his imaginary friends being bros and jumping in the pool with them when he's actually just all alone. After the swimming pool party thing, a trap door appears at the bottom of the swimming pool that leads to a mysterious world that seems completely detached from reality. Since the other swimming pool room is the representation of Taeyeon's brain, I think this trap door could be a symbol for a gateway to a deeper place in the mind, and Taeyeon and his psyche are taking a dive to it by going in through that trap door. So they go through the trapdoor, they go through all the jungle-like vegetation, and at the very end they see a giant door. Now tell me, when was the last time you saw a door from this perspective? When you were a little child, right? I think this door is either a symbol of childhood or a gateway back into childhood. As soon as they see the door, Yeonjun sets it on fire with his glasses, which is teenage angst burning the childness, the naivete inside Taeyeon. Taeyeon is no longer a child anymore after this. His imaginary friends leave him, and I think this is a sign of growth, changes in his psyche. Since his psyche has gone through these changes in the process of growing up, the projections of his psyche, which are the imaginary friends, also have to leave because they've changed. The doll, which is a child's toy, is also burnt, and I think this is all nails in the coffin of showing that Taeyeon is no longer a child and this is a growing up thing. So with all this information put into perspective, I think in the end, members of Tomorrow by Together, the voices in Taeyeon's psyche, have led Taeyeon to not a Hogwarts-like imaginary wonderland, but deep inside his own mind. And he, in the process, burned down his childhood to become a more mature human being. I think this song is not about escape, but about growing up, and Platform 9 3/4 is a gateway to maturity. like this video, please like and subscribe to DKDK TV. We have lots of explained videos. Also visit patreon.com/DKDKTV. We need your support to continue making these videos, as these videos do not get monetized at all. Due to the YouTube algorithm detecting the music, all money goes to Big Hit from this video. Hours of research goes into making these videos, so if you could help us just a little bit, that will be more than enough for us to continue making them. So please go to patreon.com/DKDKTV.